That's how it started. Ethan Cole, a billionaire known for his ruthless business deals and cold heart, had it all: mansions, luxury cars, power, and influence. But he had no one to talk to. Not really. Not since his wife left him 5 years ago, saying, "You don't even know what love feels like anymore." So when his private jet crash-landed during a storm and he ended up in a hospital alive but shaken, Ethan saw an opportunity. A strange, almost desperate thought came to him: what if I just stop? What if I pretend not to wake up and see what people really feel when I'm gone? And that's exactly what he did. But Ethan had no idea that this silent act would change his entire life, because of one nurse and one confession that broke his heart wide open. The hospital room smelled faintly of antiseptic and loneliness. Machines beeped softly beside Ethan's bed, the rhythm of a lie he had chosen to live. Doctors came and went, nurses adjusted his 4 lines, and he lay perfectly still, his mind awake, his eyes closed, his body unmoving. Days turned into weeks. He'd heard his assistant whisper about transferring his companies, his lawyer discussing inheritance papers, and even his ex-wife's cold tone saying, "Maybe now he'll finally rest." Each word cut him like a knife. He realized quickly, no one cared about Ethan Cole, the man. They only cared about what he owned. Then came Nurse Lily Adams. She wasn't like the others. She didn't speak in hushed, rehearsed tones. She talked to him as if he could actually hear her. Sometimes she'd joke about her long shifts or her aching feet. Other times, she'd bring a small radio and play soft music while she changed his bandages. One night, Ethan heard her whisper, almost to herself, "You know, Mr. Cole, everyone says you're this cold, untouchable man. But I don't believe it. No one is born heartless. Something must have broken you." He wanted to respond, to tell her that she was right. But he stayed still. Listening became his new life, and as he listened, he learned about Lily. Her brother's medical bills, the second job she worked to pay rent, the way she hid her pain behind a calm smile. She wasn't rich, but she was strong. For the first time, Ethan envied someone, not for their wealth, but for their courage. One rainy night, when thunder cracked outside, Lily came into his room later than usual. Her steps were slow, her eyes red. She sat by his bedside, took his motionless hand, and said softly, "I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I'm so tired. I keep saving people, but no one saves me. And every time I see you lying here, I think if I ever had a chance to talk to someone like you, I'd tell you that money can't buy peace. Only love does." A tear rolled down her cheek, and then she said the words that shattered Ethan's heart completely, "You remind me of my father. He died chasing success and forgot how to love. Please, Mr. Cole, if you can hear me, just promise me, if you ever wake up, live differently." That night, Ethan couldn't hold it anymore. Behind closed eyelids, he cried silently. For the first time in decades, he felt human. 3 days later, Ethan made a decision. He couldn't keep pretending. But he didn't want to just wake up, he wanted to change. So early one morning, when Lily entered the room with her usual soft smile and morning greeting, he slowly opened his eyes. Her gasp filled the room. "Mr. Cole, you're awake," she whispered, almost dropping her clipboard. He blinked slowly, pretending to be groggy. "How long was I out?" She didn't know the truth. No one did, but as she ran to call the doctor, Ethan felt something new in his chest: gratitude. After his recovery, he requested to meet her privately. He thanked her for her care, her kindness, her words. But Lily just smiled humbly and said, "You don't have to thank me, Mr. Cole. It's my job." He looked at her for a long moment and said quietly, "No, you did more than your job. You gave me a reason to wake up." A month later, Ethan disappeared from the public eye. The media assumed he had retired quietly. But behind the scenes, he started something new: a foundation for underpaid nurses, named Lily's Light. He visited hospitals anonymously, watching ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And sometimes, he'd see Lily working late shifts, helping patients with a smile she didn't know had changed someone's life. One day, as she walked out of the hospital, She found a letter waiting at the reception desk addressed to her. Inside, it said, "Dear Lily, you once asked me to live differently. You taught me that being alive isn't about breathing, it's about feeling. Thank you for waking me up. Ethan Cole." Tucked inside the envelope was a check. Enough to pay off all her debts and her brother's medical bills. But more than that, it carried something far more valuable, proof that kindness can awaken even the coldest hearts. Sometimes, the richest people are the poorest in spirit until someone shows them what real wealth looks like. And sometimes, one kind voice in the dark can bring someone back to life, even when they were never truly gone.